Welcome to our next episode of Untold Stories. Our guest is our CIO, Munish Mittal, and he's joined in by his senior colleagues. Now, Munish is responsible for the technology backbone that the bank uses for everything. I mean, not just, the fact that we're talking to each other is again him, the communication that goes out to a customer, him. Thank you so much, Munish, for agreeing for joining us. All of us know how important is IT in the context of a bank. Larger the bank, more critical it is. We would like to, for the benefit of the viewers here, to help us understand the importance that an IT system, IT team plays in the context of a bank of size as ours.
Hi Neeraj, it's my pleasure to be here with you and your colleagues on this episode of Untold Stories. I believe while the digital era in the industry parlance may have started in 2013, 2012 or so, but HDFC Bank has been a born digital bank. When we started the bank, our motto was to build a world-class Indian bank which basically uses technology for a superlative customer experience, for frictionless banking, and for as much of self-service as the customer can do. So we wanted the control, the convenience, the choice of device, the choice of time, choice of place, always in the hands of the customer. In today's time, with almost 96 to 98% of our transactions being totally digital and our branches not reachable easily, especially in the lockdown situation, it is even more important for the bank to have all the technology-enabled systems fully running. So we've been witnessing that even in lockdown situation, our customers have been very active. We have seen our corporate internet banking customers continuing to manage their cash and money. So I think from a technology perspective, it is extremely relevant for a digital bank to have all the gears running, all the wheels moving, whether lights on or lights off. Our data center has been running flawlessly.
What was your reaction, Manish, when you heard the Prime Minister announce the lockdown?
Though I had speculated and I was privately sharing with the people I knew professionally, personally, when the Janta curfew was announced, I said, this is something is coming, a storm is coming. I have my colleague Smita on this call, and I would like to request her to cover one aspect.
The first thing that we did was put together a list of precautions to be taken while entering the office, while in office, while going back home. So we prepared a detailed list of actions to be taken by each team member and also shared them with our admin team. It was not very easy for everybody to accept that they cannot come to office from tomorrow and they will have to arrange for, prioritizing who will work and who will not work for some time while we arrange for laptops and for VDI VPN for them. So we had to also advise people how to prioritize their work and how to, identify who will work first and who should wait and who should not work.
This was in the work from home domain, largely, right?
Essentially, as I said, there were two aspects related to what Asmita covered. One was our people continuing to be productive as our colleague, as our workforce. They have to be productive. The second was from a safety aspects also. I think, Neeraj, and in such a extenuating circumstances, multiple forces work on people's mind. One is the central government advisory, right?
Yeah.
Second is the state government advisory. Third is the local body, the municipal advisory, right? IT issued its advisory because I wanted to make sure that the people who are required for keeping the lights on in the data center must always be in a possession of their laptop, must always be able to connect to the bank, must always be able to come. IT services continue to be run, advisory to our IT staff on how to work, when to work, where to work, and when to not come to office.
Wonderful, Manish, and so assuring. There's no touch of panic, is what I see. Was there any moment that you felt that we should have prepared for this?
No, absolutely. I cannot waste this opportunity or this crisis to share that. We could have definitely be better prepared. It is practice. it is preparation which helps, because Rome was not built over a day. So you cannot enable 100,000 or 50,000 or 25,000 people to work from home at the drop of a hat. If culturally and from a provisions perspective, you have primarily been an on-premise organization, right? We don't use too many public cloud services. Sundar, maybe I can request you to just cover in a minute or two what could have been better prepared from your perspective in terms of employee productivity and collaboration vis-a-vis what we already have.
First important thing is I was thinking as part of this new experience which I am seeing it for the first time, where many of the myths were broken. The first myth is that transformation is a medium to long-term process. But some of these incidents which hits you hard in the face is something which forces you to have this transformation ideas generated, implemented, and enabled. I think this is a real transformation in my mind. This is the first thing. And secondly, from a preparation perspective, yes, we were prepared from the perspective of availability of some of the tools, infrastructure, to a small set of teams. Say, for example, Munish was mentioning about this VDI or a laptop on a VDI. This is for a small set of teams, say 400 people who used to work as a support teams. But nevertheless, suddenly it has changed the whole profile, saying that I need to give it to some 20,000 people pan-India. How do I support them? So actually, it's a real change of the thinking process is what we would require. Though we were able to react, I think I would appreciate the whole of the IT team in the speed with which they are able to react to the situation and then try to scale up.
Luckily for us, on the positive side of preparation, we were extremely well prepared because we have been a digital bank. As I mentioned, we had enabled our applications to work on internet. Since we have a distribution almost in 3,500 towns in country, so we were actually well prepared. We also had a good farm of hosted applications on a platform equivalent of VDI, where even browser application within large bandwidth branches we used to run in the data center, and that gave us complete opportunity to enable those users on the internet because they were already using the infrastructure. So we did not need to add capacity immediately because they were already using it through VDI, even in the branches. CRM, for example, it works faster on VDI. So we were reasonably prepared, but we could have definitely been better prepared when it comes to public cloud.
Hello. So my question is, sir, no one could have predicted the coronavirus lockdown. So we would like to know how much of it was the preparedness from our side, and how much of it was the BCP process that we put in to help us combat this situation.
Yes, Mohit. In IT, we always say you get what you test, and opportunity favors the prepared. So it was and it is only preparation over a period of last many years. I would request my colleague Anand to elaborate how many drills do we do for disaster recovery and business continuity in a year.
So we have close to about 80 applications that we have been setting up in DR over a period of time. There are about 65 of them which are active. We do 2 drills in a year for each application, plus we also do drills for our data centers, each of them once a year. So the range of about 150, 160 drills is done in a year. Some of these drills are attempted, multiple times basis, the outcome. We also managed to run many of these applications on our DR side for more than, week, in some cases a month, in some cases even a quarter. Munish mentioned about a couple of emergency drills that we did during the lockdown. We had to switch over our UPI application from the production side to the DR side because of some correction fix that we had to do on the primary side. We managed to switch over the application, in the middle of the day because there are restrictions for people movement during the night. So we managed to start the drill somewhere around 1 o'clock in the afternoon and finished by about 2:45. The application has been running on the DR side since then. and there has been absolutely no complaints of any kind.
Now, I would like to share with my colleagues that we are amongst the top three systemically important banks in the country. Between the largest public sector bank or PSU bank, we move almost 18% of NEFT and RTGS volume for our country. We were the second bank to enable Prime Minister's Relief Fund COVID donations and a specific account to be opened in our bank thanks to Smita Bhagat and team's effort.
There was a announcement of lockdown followed by a moratorium by the Government of India, RBI. So in these two tough things happening just at a gap of few days, how sleepless nights the entire team spent to make this happen, so that there is no issue faced within the bank as well as for the customers. There is no crisis to be called by the government, the RBI. One question. And the second question is, to meet all the expectations, right, within and outside, what kind of changes were required in, say, the software, existing software programming, any new programs that were developed quickly to make all these things happen?
Sanjay, interesting questions you ask. While I may have still enjoyed relatively a peaceful sleep, but IT team and couple of other teams in the bank, operations team, a BTG team, they certainly had extremely sleepless nights on account of implementing the prudent right policy for the bank on the moratorium. I think our bank did its collaboration with the regulator and with few other banks to ensure that the customer is not confused and there is least amount of queries. So I think a lot of time went, the senior management, the credit team, they I think worked non-stop to arrive at what should be the policy and what should be the offering. The second aspect which I want Rajesh Chavan, my colleague, who's on this call, to cover, the sleeplessness part of the nights which he and his team spent.
When the lockdown was announced, I being the change management agent for the bank and for the IT, I was a little relaxed on the first day, saying कि ये lockdown है, तो शायद थोड़ा easy होगा. We will have to, as an IT, we will have to work only from a lights on perspective. But second day onwards, that was not the case. I think the things turned around pretty fast for us and the whole of IT. So the moratorium hit us very hard. I think one thing which good happened was our system processes and the application which we had put and the things which we had done right in terms of the front end application which we had put, the APIs which we had. We could turn around things pretty fast on our digital application platform, put the form in and get the customers access that quickly. The other important aspects which were the changes which we have to carry out in the other systems also. So we had some numerous situations, the laptop changing hands 2 or 3 times, moving from multiple cities. We managed to, provide laptop to our resource in a quota also when in Rajasthan the team are supporting. And your second question on the changes which we have to carry out in our data center and multiple applications. So we also had to ensure that volumes, we have to sustain those volumes during that, and hence we had to go through an upgrade process of some of our systems in our data centers, our internet banking and mobile banking. We continued with our upgrades. We didn't stop it.
So Sanjay, we launched a brand new mobile app in the app stores for our customers to open account digitally, which was previously available only as an assisted digital using our RMs and personal bankers. We made changes in our loan management system for retail lending, in our core banking system for the moratorium related changes to be made for the wholesale banking, corporate banking, term loans, trade finance, anywhere where there was a credit associated, a credit line or a credit facility. All those had to be changed in our core banking systems and loan management systems and our various other small and medium enterprise credit underwriting system. These were not default functionality available.
Hi Munish. So COVID-19 has really changed the way that we work and the way that we will work going forward. From this experience, what are some of the leadership lessons that you have taken away and that will continue to remain with you as we go back to a new normal?
Wonderful, Sharna. Very nice question, very important question. I think in HDFC Bank and in this situation caused by pandemic, there is tremendous amount of learning. And like rest of us, I believe a crisis should never be wasted. Few interesting leadership lessons. One was never take anything for granted. For example, we had of hardware to be purchased, and given the gap in demand and supply situation, I think there was reasonable amount of anxiety within my team and in the bank to build capacity. So the first lesson we learned, saying, okay, be prudent, go slow, no sky is going to fall. Second such situation was, our partners were asking for on-account payment of their invoices, and which is very fair. I think cash flow is a problem with everybody, and we are a very ethical bank. We took a very balanced approach. As a leadership lesson, we did not go emotionally overboard in making on-account payments. At the same time, we made sure that we lived to the reputation of the bank, saying we are a helpful bank to our partners. I think another lesson we learned was there was tremendous amount of demand from our colleagues. Enable work from home now, enable work from home now, right? Let me use my personal computer at home. Let me use access data on the internet. Allow me access to a storage mount point. We said nothing doing. What is no is a no. So we didn't in a hurry succumb to the pressure. So the lesson, I think, for IT team and for the bank is that there will be demand. There will be. We didn't in a hurry succumb to the pressure. So the lesson, I think, for IT team and for the bank is that there will be demand. There will be pressure situation, but at the same time, we need to continue to believe in security first, in data security, information security, cyber security first, belief of HDFC Bank, right? We should not unnecessarily dilute any such controls. So I think that there are enough lessons that being a resilient organization and taking a balanced approach continues to help even in dire circumstances is the summary leadership lesson I think I would like to reiterate.
You touched upon digitization and digital aspect of the bank. How any interesting innovation or ideas that you tried from a technology point of view that you would like to touch upon? And then how will this entire pace of digitization move from here on, particularly keeping in mind the entire aspect about the lockdown and pandemic and COVID-19?
Yes, Rajiv, I think we try to cover. One innovation is the Insta app, which we put in the App Store. HDFC Bank as a team demonstrated and exhibited to put this app from an idea to execution on ground. All of this was put and implemented as an innovation mobile app, new mobile app within, I think, a period of about 3 weeks. I think another aspect of digital innovation during this pandemic is that we realized that 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 laptops can be made available. It's innovation not of technology, but it's more of relationship. It's innovation of collaboration. It's innovation of how culturally you are seen as an organization. I think, the third part you mentioned was that how do you see digital innovation and digital banking from here onwards in pandemic situation. So certainly you will see this Insta account opening app, the self-service account opening app embedded as a component in our mobile banking app so that it becomes a mainstay. You will see our credit card being listed on our partner portals. So I think we'll just see more and more impetus on what the bank already was doing with respect to digital.
Wonderful. Thank you, Munish. I can't not ask you this question. This last 5-6 weeks, you would have had moments of stress. You would have also had moments of lighter moments of, laughters and, and anything that you remember where all of you, all your colleagues would have had a laugh.
First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to applaud the efforts of my team. I think the IT team, the BTG team, and the operations team of the bank have genuinely burned candle both ends. I think the moments of laughter personally for me, Neeraj, were when I felt helpless. When I realized that, listen, this is the way things are. You can't do much. So I had to just laugh it off and take it easy on myself and my team.
I would just like to close on a slightly light note that all of us men have discovered working from home also means working for home. So that is the one small takeaway that I have personally had, and I think a lot of men are discovering around the world.
Oh yeah. I cooked some chicken biryani day before yesterday, and it was a disaster. All other days I've been cooking very well, but too much of masala. So I realized the value of spices. Thank you very much, Neeraj and team.
Thank you so much, everybody, on behalf of my team. It's wonderful. I mean, we'll perhaps need 6 episodes to cover IT. They go so deep, it's so well entrenched. Their tentacles go everywhere. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you everybody else in your team, Munish. Thank you.